How you doing, guys? Mr. Wallace here with your next video lesson. Okay, again, we're not going to bother with too much preamble, we're just going to get right into it. And today we're looking at a topic that's closely related to and is often kind of done at the same time as, which is why we're doing it here, the ratio work. Okay, and that topic is called proportion or direct proportion. Okay, as usual, pause the video, make sure that you're aware of these three questions and you're able to answer them by the end. So, direct proportion, best way to illustrate this is just with a really quick kind of example with some visuals, okay? When we talk about direct proportion, what we really mean is when we have two quantities that are linked, okay? So if, for example, you had something like a pancake recipe, okay? And in that recipe it said you need 2 eggs and 4 cups of flour, okay? You would say the ratio of eggs to cups of flour is in direct proportion if doubling one meant that you had to double the other, okay? So anything you do to one side, you would have to do to the other side is what makes them in direct proportion. So if I doubled the number of eggs to 4, I would have to double the number of cups of flour to 8, okay? So doubling one quantity means you have to double the other. Okay, that's all direct proportion really is. We use that to solve a couple of different types of problem that we're going to have a quick look at so that you're able to do this when you get on to homework, okay? Example 1 here is a rate question, okay? This is the first type of question you might come across. And it's the first type of question you might come across because it only requires you do the first couple of steps of the calculation, okay? A rate is just finding out how much something happens on a kind of scale on 1 or something. Okay, so we're being asked here, example 1, a cyclist travels 100 meters in 14 seconds. How fast is he traveling in meters per second? Okay, and a good way to look at this second sentence to help you interpret what the question's actually asking you is if it wants to know how fast he goes in meters every second, what it's saying is how far would he travel? Okay, how far would he travel in 1 second? Okay, and what that means is we're going to have to try and figure out how many meters this person is traveling in 1 second, okay? These will be calculator questions more often than not. You would be allowed to use a calculator and round, so we're going to use that for this one because I think we all need it. Remember, you have one on your computer or your phone, or if you have an actual calculator, that's ideal. First thing we're going to do is we're going to create a kind of ratio-like set out, okay? So we know how far a cyclist travels in 14 seconds. He travels 100 meters. Okay, and what we want to know is how far will he travel in 1 second. Use this little arrow here rather than put an equal sign in, because saying 14 seconds equals 100 meters doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So what are we going to have to do here? How do we get from 14 to 1? Okay, this is actually why these questions are in some ways a bit easier than your ratio ones, because what you're always going to do is divide this number here by itself so that you end up with 1. So we're going to divide by 14 on both sides, okay? They're in direct proportion. You can, anything you do to the front, you can do to the other side. So we know that 14 divided by 14 gives us the 1 second. What we need to know is 100 meters divided by 14 gives us what? Okay, it gives us, just taking this number here, 7 0.142857. You'd always write down what appears on your calculator first. We should know it's probably okay for us to round this up a little bit, so what I'm going to do is round it to 2 decimal places and say that's roughly 7.14 meters. Okay. Now, that's the whole question for the rate, really, but it's asked you how fast he's travelling in meters per second, so what you want to do is give your final answer in those units. So we know that in 1 second he's going 7.14 meters, so that means he's travelling at 7.14 meters every second. And that is your answer, okay? So you just create this connection here, divide to find how far you would travel in 1 second, and that gives you your answer, your meters per second. Going on to example 2, all that really happens here is you have an extra step to consider, okay? It reads, a factory makes 495 cars in 15 hours. How many cars can the factory make in 24 hours, okay? So the very first tip that makes these questions much easier for you is whichever unit, okay, you have 2 quantities for, is what you probably want to put on your left hand side, okay? So we know in 15 hours this factory can make 495 cars. What we want to know is how many can it make in 24 hours. And what we're going to do to figure that out is the exact same as we did in example 1 for our first step, okay? We're going to find out by dividing by 15 how many cars will this factory make in 1 hour, okay? So we're going to divide by 15 to get how many cars does it make in 1 hour. So 495 divide by the 15 will give us 33, okay? Slightly nice rounder number for this one. So 33 cars in 1 hour. Now, to figure out how many cars it can make in 24 hours, we just have to add 1 extra step in. We're going to have to find out how do we get to 24 hours. Well, hopefully that's straightforward enough. We just multiply 1 by 24. So in 24 hours, the factory is going to make 33 times the 24. Okay. You do 33, multiply it by the 24 to get a final answer of 792. Okay, so 792 cars. Now, that's at the stage where you could just underline this and say that's your final answer, but you could also write it as a wee sentence at the end, just to show you know what's going on. You could say the factory makes 792 cars in 24 hours. My calculator's getting in the way. Final answer, okay? One more example, just to show you that this just works the same way, more or less every time. We're going to look at this one here that's comparing 2 different currencies, okay? It says Ali changes £150 to euros and gets 168 euros for this, okay? So the first thing we know is that they're starting with £150 and getting 168 euros. The question is asking how many euros would she get if she only exchanged £75? Okay, so again, using that first tip, we can see that we've got 2 quantities in pounds. So we're going to want to start off with our comparison here, starting with the pounds. So £150 got her 168 euros. And the first thing we're going to want to figure out, by dividing by the 150, is how many euros did she get for £1. Okay, so we're going to divide this side by 150, and that should give us our answer. Okay, so we'll do 168 divided by the 150 will give us €1.12. Okay, so that means that for £1 she was getting €1.12. Now what we need to figure out is that last little step, which is how many euros would she get if she only exchanged 75 instead. Okay, so we're going to multiply £1 by 75, and that should tell us how many euros did she get for her £75. And all we need to do on the calculator is just multiply that 1.12 by 75, and it should tell us that she would have got 84 euros if that's all she'd exchanged. And again, that's fine as your final answer. You could write a wee sentence to show you know what's going on. She would have received 84 euros for £75. Something along those lines, okay? You can play around with the sentence structure a little bit. But that is really everything that kind of comes together for one of these questions, guys, okay? So make sure you're having a good attempt at them with the homework. If you're confused, come back and watch some elements of this video to give yourself a wee refresher here or there. Ask your teacher or maybe a parent or a friend if you think you need a wee bit of extra help, okay? Otherwise, make sure that you're going over these questions and you're comfortable you can answer them from what you've seen in the video. Make sure you watch it again if you need to kind of help you with your homework, and if not, have a great week, okay? Enjoy it as it comes along. See you later, guys.